Hey there, Ty here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. It has been quite a long time. Today, I'm going to show you some Super Smelter designs. So, I don't know why I said it like that. That sounded kind of weird. Anyways, so, over here, you'll see I have some design. I don't remember who made this, but it's pretty good design. It can be, it can chain, it can link this way. It can go out as much as you want, which is pretty good. And it uses about 21 hoppers for just 6 furnaces, which is a little bit for survival pretty early on before you get iron farms. But then you look at something like this, who I believe this was Tango Tech's design. This is about 2 stacks of hoppers, which is a lot of iron to get in survival very early on, unless you have a bunch of iron farms. Although, again, these both are very good designs. But let's say you don't want to worry about any of that. Let's say you want to have, say, 17 hoppers, which is much more doable early on in the game. You would probably want to use one of these 2 designs at first, and then, maybe upgrade to those later on. So this design right here uses this. That's hardly anything at all. Besides some sandstone or whatever block you want, this is very cheap. But if you think the 24 powered rails is a little too much gold, then we have this design, which also has a switch to activate it so it's not constantly running. Because I had the hopper minecarts going here automatically all the time, and it made me want to jump off something really tall. So I made this one, and now this one just only works at the press of a button. You see, you press the button, and then go and come back. This one isn't hooked up to that. This one, you'll see when we get to this one. But let's start making this one. So we're going to start off with a 1x9, just like this. You're going to put 2 walls on one side, 1 wall on the other side. You're going to place a chest in the front. It doesn't really matter where, as long as it's there. You're going to put your hopper pointing into the chest, and then you want to place a redstone block at the end down here. And then you want to place your powered rails all over the place on the front. And so there should be 6 in total. And then if you go back to the front, you want to place your furnaces. I almost said hoppers. These are furnaces. Silly me. These go up here, right on top of the rails. And then you want to go around the back. And what you're going to do here is you're going to place your hoppers pointing into the furnaces. I got the names right that time. And then if we crouch fly, which you wouldn't do in survival, you just crouch and walk along like this. But you place the hoppers on top of the furnaces pointing into them. And now what you're going to do is you're going to want to run these rail things here like this, as you can see on that one. Now what that does is it gives the minecarts more room, and I'll explain it when I do this side over here. I'm going to do it like this. So the reason you have to do it a little bit longer is because the minecarts, whenever they go over here, if there's a block here, they register it right here, and they're hardly on this hopper at all, and then they get sent back. But if you have an extra block, they don't register it until they're already past the hopper. So that ensures you get full time on all the hoppers on both sides, and then also just a little bit of leeway. But in order to do this, you place your powered rail, and then you may realize, oh no! Now all of my minecarts are going to fly out of the back of the machine and not work at all. But the way you fix this is you break this block and you place that there, and then you place this here, and then you can get rid of that floating blocks. No one likes those. And you put this back, and there you go. And then you want to finish one line at a time. And then we actually should make this one longer to do that same trick. There you go. Oh, I fell down. That's not good. Then you want to just go back along and do the bottom line once you have both those caps on. And now this part's initially done. And then you may be thinking, how do you power these? You place a redstone block and it powers the whole thing, because that's really easy. If a redstone block's a little too much for you, you can just do a torch and put it on the sides. But you can figure that out. A torch is really simple. So if you place your hopper down here, and then you place a chest on top of it, and then a chest in front of it. You can move them around if you want to separate them out, or you can use more hoppers to place them wherever it seems better for you. Except, I don't care about that, and I'm trying to save resources, and I think this is good enough. So you place your smeltables, such as your woods and your cobblestones and your other things, into this chest, and you place your coals and your other smelting things into this chest, and then the minecarts grab it out of here and put it into the furnaces in the proper slots. Because if you point a hopper into the back, it puts it into the bottom slot of the furnace, and then down here it will pull them out and put them into this chest. So I put this here, I put this here, and I put this here. These will now run back and forth automatically and do all of your smelting for you. Except the sound of this, as I said before, makes me want to jump off of something really tall. And so in order to fix that, what you got to do is you got to break these, and you got to do this other design. So now this other design works a lot better and doesn't break your ears, but it does cost a little bit more redstone. As you can see here, this chest is a lot more full, although it does also use a lot less powered rails, so that is something to consider. However, it does use an activator rail, which is arguably pretty cheap still. So anyways, let's start building this one. If we go back here, it is, I believe, a 1x11. I think that was 11. Now let's go back over here, and we're going to place our double walls on both sides this time. And then down at the front, we are going to place our powered rail on both sides. And then in the middle here, we want to, that's about right. Oh, that is the middle, okay. And then you want to place your chest with a hopper pointing into it. And you want to place your normal rails all along this spot. Although I just made a mistake. This isn't the old design, this is the new design. You want to put the hopper over here. I'm sorry about that. You place your powered rail on top of there. So what that means is, since we only have 6 furnaces, which I will explain in a second, whenever it is not on, this hopper minecart has all the time it needs to pump stuff into the chest. But yeah, so the reason we have these 6 is because if you use more than 6, the minecarts tend to be very inconsistent. Like they won't spread things out evenly, and I don't really know why, or maybe it was a bug on my end. I mean, you can try it if it works for you, good job, but it did not work for me, so I just kept it at 6. And if you want more than 6, you could either make another one, or just make one of the better designed ones. But this is just meant to be a really early game Super Smelter. So now that we have this, we want to place our hoppers again on the back, similar to the previous design, as you may expect. Boop, 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 boop. Those are there now. Now we want to bring it out twice on the sides. Oh, that's not where that goes. Except 3 times on the top on this right side right here. And you'll see why in a minute. And then you want to bring it out 2 on this side again. Actually just 1, but you need to place those to place the caps right here. And then you want to place these stoppers on this end. You want to place, that doesn't go there. You want to place your rails all along the top here, and then a powered rail at the end, send it back. Oh, but you may have noticed this rail is not working correctly, and that's because we need to place that there. Same as before, I think. I don't remember. Did I show you that? I don't know. Anyways, that fixes it. And now you want to place your normal rails going back along the hoppers, again crouching to place these. Although you may notice when you place this here, this looks fine. However, whenever you power this with a button, it turns this rail and launches everything out of the back, which isn't any fun. So what you need to do is you want to break that and replace it with the slightly cheap activator rail. And I messed this up. Activator rail. There we go. And what that does is this doesn't turn whenever it's powered on, because yay. And now it's time for the redstone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the redstone tab. I'm going to get rid of these things. And where is, I'm going to need a dust, I'm going to need some repeaters, I'm going to need a comparator, and then some torches. There you go, as shown in the previous thing of everything you would need. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to make this little section right here, this little corner. We're going to place one on top, and then a torch. I don't know why I jumped to place a torch. We'll place another thing, and we'll place another torch, and then a single redstone dust right there. Yeah, that's right, it's spooky. And then you place this here, and then if I go around and I grab this button, and I place this button here, you'll notice the torch turns off, and that's because this button powers both of these up here. You can really, I don't think you can see that one in time, but regardless. And then also you want to place a dust on here for later. But what's next is you want to come over here, and you may be thinking, well, this bottom one didn't run at all. That's because you haven't set this up yet. What this does is this comparator, everything should be spread out equally, and then this one also runs the longest because it's hit the last. So you put the comparator out of here. This should, as long as the Super Smelter is running, it should output the signal and then power the bottom so that it only runs when it needs to. So you're going to bring this out here, and you bring it out 2 past. So you want to have this little hole right here. You're going to bring it around over here, and then it's about here is fine. And then you just want to link it all up with redstone except for this one block under here. And that's because that needs to be a repeater to extend the pulse long enough, which is fine. So if you would see, I forgot to put this here real quick. Let me power these with a redstone block, or again, as I mentioned previously, other methods. As you see here, now whenever this works, this comparator will output a pulse over to here, activate this, hit this, and then also activate these. So the whole thing runs, but only when there's stuff in it. And to start it, you hit this button. That was very good timing. That was my automatic day sensor. That was not this. Alright, so if I put one here, oh, this looks ugly. Let's put these here. And then if I put these here, and oh, I forgot to put my chests, my input chests. Place a hopper there, and then you place this here, and then similar to the previous design, you just place. Actually, you can put these here. Oh, you place those chests there. I didn't even do it. A good design there. I did it this way. Anyways, if you put this here, now if you press the button, the mine carts shoot down, and this one doesn't. What's wrong with this one? Oh, right, that's because I'm dumb. It's because of the comparator. So what you do is you're gonna go in here. Let me clear my inventory. If I go to coal, I grab a stack of coal, and then if I grab a stack of cobblestone, and I place the cobblestone in the input chest and the coal in the output chest, you'll notice how quickly this one filled up, because the minecart hoppers are very quick and the hopper blocks are not very quick. But I mean, you'll have plenty of time. It runs the whole time. So if I hit start, you'll notice the hoppers turn on, and again this one turned on last, so it should last the longest. And then I forgot to power this. I've forgotten multiple things today. I am sorry, guys. If you place a torch here and a dust here, that is what sends it back. Okay, so now it's working properly. And then as long as this furnace is powered, which this furnace is the slowest, which means it will always be powered, and you'll see stuff is spread out about equally. I don't know why this one, I know it was right, okay. Yeah, it was because it hadn't been collected, that's why it showed more. But yeah, now the whole thing runs completely until you are out of stuff. So if I take all this out, whenever this thing goes down, or whenever all this is taken out. Oh, never mind. It's not when this goes down. It's whenever this slot is empty. When all the slots are empty, it will stop outputting things, as you will see. Although, again, this would take the longest one to turn off, which is what causes that. So that's how you do the super easy, early game, cheap smelter idea that is not as good as the other ones you can find, but good enough to get you to where you can build those. Alright, I wish you good luck in your survival worlds, and I hope that you'll join me for mine soon enough. And if you want more information on everything I'm doing when I'm returning to Minecraft just now, there'll be a video link in the outro, not at the end of the video. I guess it is. Anyways, it's in the outro, and it'll have a lot more information about where I've been, what's happening, what's going to happen in the future with Minecraft, and all the other things. So if you're interested in that, please click that. It's going to be real short. Otherwise, thanks for watching so much. Goodbye, YouTube.